The Balkans. Here we find a complex mosaic of human tribes, each woven into the rich tapestry of history. But among them, scuttling through the corridors of power, is the lesser-spotted Homo Politicus. Watch in awe, or perhaps in horror, as they perform their most mystifying of rituals, a breathtaking ballet of embezzlement and deceit. With the precision of a seasoned predator, they weave their spell upon the mass media, a web of such intricate lies that their prey, the ever-hopeful electorate, can but stumble blindly into it. Isn't nature remarkable in all its unscrupulous glory? The people, though lean with hunger and teetering precariously on the brink of survival, remain bewitched by their leader's siren song. Like a flock of birds that follow the fallacious promise of an endless summer, they cling to his every word, with the tenacity of a limpet to a rock. His speeches, a banquet of fallacies, somehow fill their empty bellies with hope, or perhaps it's merely the gas of empty promises. Such is the power of belief, that even as their stomachs rumble, their spirits soar on the wings of his rhetoric. The human spirit, ever willing to subsist on a diet of sweet nothings. Here we observe the great illusionist of the Balkans, a master of the airwaves, performing his daily ritual across the government-owned televisions of his realm. Like the Pied Piper of legend, he holds the masses entranced, their eyes glazing over with the shimmer of his carefully crafted spectacle. Each appearance a meticulous act of mesmerism, a display of linguistic legerdemain that twists and bends reality to his will. Remarkable, isn't it, how his narrative web ensnares the collective consciousness, washing their thoughts with a deluge of alternative facts. One might liken his technique to that of a cuckoo, incessantly repeating its call until all other birds are fooled into believing it's the sole voice of truth. And so in the theatre of propaganda, a falsehood chanted with relentless fervor eventually takes root in the soil of perception, blossoming into a flower of collective belief. Indeed, nature teaches us that with enough repetition, even the stones might be convinced they can swim. In the captivating theatre of the Balkans, we find a narrative spun so enchantingly by the seated potentate that the most stark of realities fade into mere shadows. Imagine, if you will, the throngs of Homo sapiens, their daily struggles, cloaked in the heavy mist of abject poverty, suddenly suffused with a rosy glow of contentment at the mere proclamation that all is well. It's a fantastical alchemy, akin to convincing the noble penguin that it can fly. Just as the penguin might waddle to the cliff's edge, faith swelling within its downy breast, so too do the people bask in the warm, albeit illusory, sunshine of prosperity. The power of words, it seems, can turn the Spartan crust of bread into a feast fit for a king, at least in the minds of the listeners. Oh, what a marvel it is, the human psyche, ever eager to sidestep the grim tapestry of their reality for a dream weaved from the golden threads of empty reassurances. In the wilds of the Balkans, the Homo Politicus uses a most intriguing camouflage, the chameleon-like statistics that dazzle and confound the populace. Akin to how a cunning octopus obscures the ocean floor with ink, our leader obfuscates the bleak landscape with numerical wizardry. Losses, with a sleight of hand, metamorphose into gains as if by magic. Behold, inflation no longer a voracious predator, but rather a benevolent bringer of wealth, generously doling out pay raises. The common citizen, untrained in the dark arts of numerical necromancy, stands little chance against such formidable sorcery. Soon, their own senses betray them. Eyes that witness scarcity are persuaded to see abundance. Ears that hear the growl of the market's bear are charmed into hearing the bull's triumphant song. In this grand spectacle, reality becomes a mere suggestion, a footnote easily edited by the grand narrator's authoritative voice. Indeed, in this land, you don't see with your eyes, you see with your ears, guided by the spellbinding stories woven by those who hold the strings. And so, truth itself becomes as malleable as clay in the hands of a master potter, shaped to suit the potter's whims. In the dense underbrush of Balkan politics, the Homo politicus navigates the terrain with the deftness of a fox in a henhouse. Scandals and affairs, which for any other creature might signal the end, are mere pebbles underfoot for this political maestro. With the media as his orchestra, he conducts an opus of distraction and distortion, ensuring that each unsightly truth is cloaked in a symphony of misinformation. The public's gaze, ever fickle, is skillfully diverted. Here a flash of scandal is erased with a twirl of the conductor's baton. There a political misstep is drowned out by the crescendo of fabricated headlines. The Homo politicus stands at the podium, unruffled, as the media weaves a tapestry so convincing that one could be forgiven for mistaking it as the very fabric of reality itself. Indeed, such is his dominion over the narrative, that he molds the truth with the whimsy of a child shaping a clay figurine. Truth, it turns out, is not chiseled in stone, but rather sketched in sand, ever at the mercy of the tide of power. As the sun sets on the Balkan political savannah, one cannot help but reflect on the curious state of its denizens. The Homo sapiens, entranced or broken in spirit by the relentless machinations of the Homo politicus, appear shackled by a complex web of apathy and despair. The spell woven is so potent, the narrative so domineering, that even the notion of rebellion seems but a distant mirage. Yet amidst this landscape of orchestrated illusion, a faint glimmer of hope flickers on the horizon, the youth. Indeed, if change is to come, it will ride on the backs of these young lions, ready to roar their defiance and reclaim the pride lands from the clutches of the Homo politicus. On the 17th of December, an opportunity arises, a break in the clouds, a chance for the Homo sapiens of the Balkans to reclaim their agency. With the power of the vote cradled in the palm of their hands, the people are summoned to cast a stone against the tyrannical Goliath, to sever the puppeteer's strings, to break the spell of the Homo politicus. Each ballot, a potential ripple in the still waters of resignation, a catalyst for the tidal wave of change so desperately needed. The time has come to awaken from the hypnotic trance, to shake off the chains of despondency and stride into the voting booths with the fierce determination of a mother bear protecting her cubs. For in this act of democratic defiance, there lies the sliver of hope that the future may yet be written not by the corrupt, but by the courageous. Mark the date, dear viewers, for it is not just a day on the calendar, but a turning point in this grand, unfolding saga. On December the 17th, seize the narrative, for the pen is mightier than the sword and the ballot mightier than the bullet. Go forth and vote. It is your scene to direct in this epic documentary we call democracy.